thought I would give you an update on my research. I found some interesting things through just even before I started painting. I wanted to know about what kind of paint they used, et cetera, et cetera. Which, of course, are all natural pigments: yellow ochre and red oxide and charcoal. But one of the things I found interesting is that the scientists can now tell that the some of the original drawings had been touched up hundreds of years later, so maybe they started to fade, and other artists would come along and restore the paintings. They can tell by carbon dating that they were just done at different time periods, but the subsequent artists tended to be very respectful of the initial painting. There didn't seem to be much deviation ever. And the other thing I found really interesting is there would be caves that were 1,200 miles apart, but the styles were very similar, which is strange because you know for sure they didn't go back and forth to compare caves. But the continuity without communication is just pretty cool. And I don't think there's an explanation for that, but they would simplify and they would exaggerate, and that was all very neat. The other thing I learned is that many species that they painted are now extinct. They went extinct 30,000 years ago, but the people painted them on the caves. And one of the interesting things is that we know is cave lions, not saber-toothed. They were a species of cave lions, and the males did not have a mane. And the only reason we know that is from the cave paintings. They had males and females, and the males had no mane. And so we had bones and things of the species, but to see them drawn is pretty cool. Art has recorded a lot of things that words cannot. We know what people wear. Clothing maybe lasts 300 or 400 years at most, but we know what people wore in 1550 because of the paintings. We know what the Greeks look like because of the vases and the sculptures and the paintings that survived. So art has provided a lot of history, and thank you for being part of this. We'll record a little microcosm of history, but I think for artists and maybe for those that are just curious about how a painting is made, I'm looking forward to showing you each little part of this painting, the struggles and the revisions and all the things that we go through every time. Thank you. Bye bye.